introduction, Ryan. Oh.
All right, we are live. This is a brand new thing, so let's see if we can get some people in here. For those that have been watching on Flip's channel and not on my channel for a few months at this point, gosh, how long have we been doing this pretty regularly now?
3 months?
At least, yeah. Flip and I have been streaming on Flip's channel every Tuesday night for the last 3 months or so, and Eric has been with us for the last almost a month at this point, like 3 weeks in a row. Appreciate the special guest. Flip and I are going to be starting a second show every Tuesday. What's going on, Dave and Ice? Good to see you here and early. Our second show that we're going to be doing, we're going to be calling Disc Covering Cinema. And we're going to be going off of boutique cinema. We're going to be covering a few discs, going over what we've watched for the week, hangout time, just talk about life in general, and then try to review some of the things that we've gone over. And that's pretty much it. So basically, just to jump into it, how's everybody doing? How's the week been?
I've been doing good.
Me? It's good. We're celebrating 30 years on the 16th, so 11 days of business. So my day off was consisting of doing an interview and a photo shoot for a local newspaper, and then another local paper reached out to us today. So here soon, I'm going to have to do another photo shoot and another interview and say the same. I felt like it's a big newspaper here. It's the one for like the entire county, and it's like a pretty big deal. But the guy who interviewed me, it felt like he like just kind of like half-assed, like woke up, got told he's interviewing me, and then asked some basic questions. He was like, how's business? And I was like, well, that's very open-ended. He was like, well, how's business since COVID? And I was like, all right, well, that's a little better. But yeah, it was good. It was good. My back's out, so I can barely move. Got to take ibuprofen.
It's exciting, especially before you're even 30 years old.
I used to power lift a lot when I was younger, and I did steroids, and I definitely messed my back up bad.
Plus, your blood is like 78% Monster Energy drink.
Hey, this is my 1.5 today. I come back. I bought 2 cases. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook.
I did see the picture.
And I haven't actually drank that much. But I did watch a bunch of stuff this week. And we'll talk about 2 because it was the topic. But I just want to say, have you guys seen Samurai Banners?
Don't even know what that is offhand.
It's directed by Hiroshi Inagaki, who did the Musashi trilogy that Criterion put out. He also did Samurai Saga. Well, he did a movie called Samurai Banners, and it stars Mifune, and it's a epic, like every sense of the word, like 100 people on screen at times fighting. It's very drama driven. And it's one of the best movies I've seen ever. And I'm actually surprised that Criterion or Arrow haven't given this like the special treatment, because it's a good drama. It's a really good drama about Mifune, who plays a Ronin, who ends up joining up with this clan and helps them wage war. And there's a love story involved. It's very well done. The acting's great. The whole design is great. The people on the horseback, the hats, are some crazy hats in there. There's a little bit of humor, just a little bit. But I was watching this a couple nights ago and just being like, Anna Migo put it out on DVD, and I was like, man, why isn't this like out on Blu-ray? Like, this is just a great film. And then I also watched that release of Golden Mask I showed off last week.
Nice.
And that, I don't know how that transfer looks incredible. Like, they gave that movie the treatment that like Shaw's getting from Arrow and Eureka and 88. It looks incredible. And I don't know how they were able to find because usually Thai-based Kung Fu movies were treated very poorly.
Of course.
And I don't know how they were able to find film for this, because it looks amazing. So, yeah.
That's from a German retailer, right?
Vengeance Pack. They actually commented on my video and said that
Nice.
they did all the restoration in-house.
Amazing.
Even more impressive. So that's pretty awesome.
How about your week, Eric? How's everything going with you?
I actually, it's a weird coincidence. I had a few photo shoots this week too for GQ and Men's Health. So you'll be seeing those up in a few months. It was a final decision between me and Tom Brady, and I beat him out.
Speaking of Brady, did you watch that game?
Yeah,
that was great. That was a great game. Back and forth, and that, man, what a way, just a way to end that game.
I don't even know what happened. Who ended up winning?
So the Bucks won by, but the Pats had the chance to score a field goal. It was like a 58-yard field goal, I think.
Yeah.
And it went all the way, and it just bonked right off of the post. So he won by a field goal. It was a crazy game.
So at one point in time, like 1.4 million New Englanders were all blue balled. I love it.
Well, it was kind of funny. Like when he came out, they were all cheering for him. There were signs like "You'll always be a Pat." But once the game started, they were like, "Boo!" just screaming. And honestly, I think he got a little shook. I mean, it's his first time playing back. He's now the fourth quarterback to have beaten every single team in the league. He also broke the regular season passing yards. He beat Breeze's previous record. So, and Tom Brady's probably going to play for another 20 years. So that dude's going to have that. He's going to have that record forever, probably. It's crazy how good he is. It really is.
And still in great shape. I mean, just like Eric. Eric's 63 years old, and look at him. Look how good he looks.
Also, dude, Tom Brady's fucking life is an anime. It really is an anime. He's not that good looking. When you look at him, he's not like he's not like a physical specimen. You're not like, oh wow, that guy is super athletic. He was the last pick of his year, the very last pick. He goes on to become the greatest quarterback of all time, married to a supermodel, and has 7 rings. He has a ring for every day of the week. And he has all these records. It is insane. It's insane. And he seems like a good guy too. But minus a few things. God, there's a Target Gunpla. Or are they selling Target? Or they selling Gunpla Target? I don't need that hobby again. That's an expensive time hobby. Way too much time.
So, other than the photo shoots, how's the week been, Eric? Anything stick out that you want to share?
Yeah, I started my October horror viewings, and I started off on a pretty nasty start because back in the day, I saw a movie called Men Behind the Sun, which is a Hong Kong exploitation flick. And I remember it being just kind of all right. So I rewatched that, and I enjoyed it a little bit more this time. And then I watched the spin-offs, all 3 of them. And Men Behind the Sun 2 and 3 were directed by Godfrey Ho, which is not a good thing. Third one was especially boring. But then I get to the 4th one, Black Sun, The Nanking Massacre, where the original director returned. And that was the best of the whole franchise. I mean, it's actually got production values of like a legitimate war film, but the violence in your typical war film is upped like 10 times. So the whole film is people getting massacred and just like ripped apart, and it's really, really nasty. It's not a film I would watch very often, but it was actually pretty good. I was kind of surprised at the quality of that one. So I would recommend that for anybody who can stomach it.
And that's Men Behind the Sun 2?
Part 4.
Part 4. How many of those are there?
Is it called Men Behind the Sun 4?
It's really Black Sun, The Nanking Massacre, I think is like the official title.
How many Men Behind the Sun movies are there?
I think there was only the 4.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
And then
Massacre Video has announced that they're doing Men Behind the Sun 1 through 3.
Ooh.
And the first one is supposedly coming in UHD. Supposedly, the story is going, well, first of all, for those that don't know, Massacre Video has sort of this really bad reputation of announcing a release and then not saying anything about it for a year and a half. And then there's a pre-order up for it. And after there's a pre-order, they go silent about it after they've collected everybody's money. And then 4 months later, it just randomly shows up at your house. So not a great reputation, but they did announce last year that 1 through 3 was coming. Then afterwards, on a podcast, their owner, founder, whatever, Lewis, he did say that there was an issue with the elements. Originally, they said you can put it out on UHD, but you have to use our scan. and it ended up being trash. So he supposedly fought to do their own scan, and they will allow it now, but it has delayed everything.
Okay. I want to highlight real quick. Ice texted me a picture of what the Target Gunpla is. It's exclusive to Target, and it's a all-American Gundam. He's got the stars and stripes all over him. It is awesome. I might actually get that. The Toby Keith Gundam is what I'm going to call it.
Toby Keith Gundam.
We'll stick up boot up.
What's going on, Master Chaos? How are you, bud? Do you guys want to talk about the 2 movies that you guys assigned me tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll start. Don't want to, because I think these movies are actually. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I think both of these are actually really good, especially if you go in almost entirely blind, like I did. For one of them I'd already seen, which is The Wailing, which I would say is considered a classic by a lot of people, a modern classic. I gotta say though, the second time around, I didn't like it as much, and it could just be because it reminded me the whole misdirect. There's a lot of misdirection in that movie, like a little too much, and it reminded me of a show I just watched called Clickbait. That's what I was trying to get the name of, the new Netflix series. Same problem I had with that, where you are expecting one thing, and then it misdirects you to another thing, and you're like, oh, it's going to be that, but then it's another misdirect, and you're like, fuck. That kind of turned me off a little bit. Maybe I'll revisit in another year or so, and I'll like it more than I did. But the first time I was like, holy shit, this movie's amazing. This time, I think I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. Solid movie. I would highly recommend it if you're going in blind. And then Eric recommended me how do you pronounce it?
Noroi.
Noroi.
The syllable is on the latter half of the word. Noroi.
It's directed by a guy named Koji Shirashi.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed a movie called Grotesque, which is heavy. So that is a heavy watch. I remember that's one of the movies I made a couple employees watch at the restaurant one night, and they were just like what the fuck? But I gotta say, this is the best found footage movie I've seen in a long time, and maybe my favorite found footage movie. It's like half found footage, half documentary for TV. Like the way it's structured is a little confusing, but it does a pretty good job of like holding your hand throughout the narrative. It came out in 2005, which when did Blair Witch? Because you could tell Blair Witch was a
99.
Blair Witch was in the 90s.
Okay, because I thought it was like 2001, but you could tell that movie was a huge influence on this. The thing I love about this is that, again, this isn't going to spoil anything, is that there are 0 jump scares. 0. And I am a guy who doesn't like jump scares. Very rarely make me jump. They more just annoy me because they're cheap. A lot of times they're used for cheap effect to get an emotion out of you so you think it's scarier than it really is. Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. The ending to this movie is bonkers, is crazy. Anytime I use the toilet again, I'm going to have to rethink a couple things, which I use the toilet a lot. So it definitely is going to be scary, but the ending is crazy. It's one of the best endings I've seen ever. Very little CG, like if at all. There was the very beginning, there was like a little screen grab where it looks like it's CG, but it could just be the use.
There's
like
probably a little bit of green screen.
A little bit of green screen, maybe. I watched it on YouTube. I'm gonna try. Is there an official release of this anywhere?
You could get it's on Shudder, but
it is on Shudder.
I originally bought the Hong Kong Region 3, never got an official U.S. physical media release to my knowledge. So this is one that needs a Blu-ray.
Or DVD here.
Yeah. This is a great film. And man, I wish, is there more movies like this? Is there more?
Not this good.
Not as good as that, but there are similar ones for sure.
Because I mean, like watching this, I was like, man, this is
because Shiraishi made a bunch of documentary style horror films. He's made like 15 of them or something, but a lot of them are different. I mean, the follow-up to this is Occult from 2009, which is not as good, but it's still good. And then he did a bunch of other ones that are they're like more nutty. They're oddball. with some dodgy, occasionally they'll throw in some dodgy special effects and stuff. But I rewatched another one that never actually got a US release. I buy the Region 2 unsubtitled things for this guy. I mean, there's like scenes where people will run through a ghost to transport themselves back in time to save somebody's life. Like, this is the type of crazy stuff this guy will throw in his documentary style stuff. But it's none of them are as good as Noroi, though.
Is it done well though? Because when you just say that sounds crazy. Like, it doesn't sound like he could pull that off. Running through a ghost like transport. Because what I liked about it is that it's not. I wouldn't say it's nutty. It's not.
No,
it felt
not.
real. It felt like it could be legit. But the end scene with the fire and the kid is just. It's fucking good. It's really good. And I don't get scared, but this movie had like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's like a feeling of dread throughout the entire film. And it gave me anxiety at some parts where I was like kind of like panicking a little bit. And I watched this laying in bed in the middle of the morning. Both my wife and kid are asleep. I have headphones in. And I'm just watching it on my phone. And I was like, oh my God, just pitch black. There's no sound, nothing. It's still out. That was a great experience. One of my favorite things I've watched this year. So, Eric, I'm going to keep coming back to you two for horror movie recommendations.
For anybody that's looking for them, like he said, Noroi the Curse is available to stream on Shudder, and Shudder is pretty cheap. It's literally only like $50 a year, $5 a month, something like that. And then The Wailing is on Amazon Prime if you've got Prime Video right now for free. You don't have to rent it or anything like that.
And The Wailing did get a Blu-ray. It did
get a, and that's out from Wellgo.
Yep, and I have that. That's part of my Wellgo collection.
Dave asked, do you guys have Halloween or October watch list? How many of them are new or first-time watch films versus classic repeat Halloween movies?
So I like I've said before, I'm not a big horror movie guy. So I'm doing a Snipetober watch list where I'm going to watch a bunch of sniper-based movies for the month of October. I have about 20 or so laid out that I'm going to watch. Not one every day because I don't think I can take that much sniping.
That's a lot of sniping.
A couple Steven Seagal. I already watched the first one of this, and I gotta say, it's okay. It holds up pretty well. I am totally on board with the Tom Berenger, Billy Zane, Chad Michael Collins sniper universe. I'm really excited to get up to that last one we talked about last week, where people are like, "This is incredible." So maybe there is, some hidden gems. They're all rated R, all of them. The first one is a little violent, but 93, and for a series that no one talks about, for a franchise that's been going on since 93, straight to the Walmart release bin, they're chugging along.
It's not bad at all. For anybody interested, I did have a list that I put out for my channel because I am into horror, and one day, Flip, I will get you into horror. We're working on it. We got there with Noroi. I'll give you some more.
I'm going to get you into Kung Fu and Samurai movies.
I'm already there. I just don't have... I got to be able to watch all genres. You want me to watch 12 Kung Fu movies in a week.
No, the most I ever asked of you is to watch all 6 movies.
So anybody, if you go back on the channel, you will see that I do have a list out that I'm doing for every day in October for my list. And I don't know how you're going to do yours, Flip. Mine is about 2/3 brand new watches for me and about 1/3 of rewatch. And for mine, my big thing is my wife, compared to my list, hers is about 98% brand new and 2% rewatch.
Most of these are going to be brand new watches. I'm not a big sniper movie aficionado. I just wanted to do something stupid, and I kind of, looking at my list, I was like, I'm going to regret this. Like, I am really going to regret doing this because it's not. Most of them look bad. Most of them.
I wanted to point out, Augie said One Cut of the Dead is awesome on Shudder, and it's $10 or less. Completely agree. Have you watched One Cut of the Dead yet, Flip?
Oh, yes, that is a great.
Good. It is such a unique take on a film. I loved that the first time I saw it.
And what's the Hollywood edition? Is that a sequel?
It is a sequel. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think Augie's been getting a pretty big non-anime. So Augie's my friend who has the largest anime collection I personally know somebody having. It's insane. But he has gotten What'd you get this week? You got Onibaba on Blu-ray from
Criterion.
Criterion, and I was really impressed by that. He did message me because he has these really hot takes on Japanese films. The last one was Seven Samurai. He said, "Is this where the term ghetto booty comes from?" Because he said all the women had plump asses. He writes to me today at noon. I finished Prince Planet yesterday, and I'm watching Peril. Not gonna lie, the breasts are fantastic so far. Oh no, this one sings in misery. So that's Augie. I love you, man.
Usually at this point, we would normally talk about pickups. Eric, you got any to share with us this week?
I got nothing this week.
Nothing?
Compared to all that stuff I got last week, just the timing was just nothing. I got tons of pre-orders out there, though, and I'm going to be waiting. I'm still waiting for my Zhang Yimou set to come in. It'll probably be a few weeks out, but...
Yeah. I'm really stoked after you sold me on Mimicry Freaks, getting that in the mail this month. Yeah. Hopefully the release date holds.
I thought it was good.
Good. Flip, did you have anything you want to share with everybody?
I put up a haul video, so I'm not going to show everything because I got a viewer, by the way, thank you. I forgot the name. I said it in the video. Sent me a bunch of bootleg Kung Fu DVDs. Invincible Armor and Blood of the Dragon were the two standouts. The other ones were pretty... which a lot of those, movies are pretty. I am waiting for Robotrix and Rikio. They're in New York. They have landed stateside. Just waiting for him to get to my house. It says it should be here Saturday. I put in a pretty. There's a guy I buy from on eBay quite a bit. He just sells old Celestial Pictures DVDs. Who owns the right to all the Shaw stuff, and he was selling a bunch of, I would say, lesser known Shaw DVDs that I think. I don't think are going to be getting a Blu-ray release. So I ordered a bunch of those. And he had I didn't know this, One Armed Swordsman, one of my favorite trilogies ever in any genre, had a sturdy DVD box set, like hardbound case, signed by an artist. And I think he had it on there for $120. I offered him $50. He accepted it. So I'm getting all three, which is awesome. But the stuff I do want to show off is Umbrella Entertainment put out Django Shoots First. I think this is the only way you can get this movie is this, which it's Region B. This is locked. But yeah, this is a pretty solid film. And then I got all of this is from Cinema Classics. So we got some new Kino Westerns. We got Macho Callahan. We got The Last Sunset, which I haven't seen these two yet. But I did watch Vera Cruz. And I'm really confused. Why does Kino choose to give random titles slipcovers? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, this movie,
I do love that art though.
Yeah, it's great artwork, but like all year, like they put out Coogan's Bluff, that got a slipcover for some reason.
I think it's because of the stars, because people will buy them literally for who's in them.
Who's Burt Lancaster?
Oh, Flip.
And then probably a movie that I didn't know even existed, but the guy who owns Cinema Classics was like, "Hey, you want this?" and sent me a picture of the front cover, and I was like, that speaks to me. And that's Samurai Avenger: The Blind Wolf. And I want to read you the back review from Jason Watches Movies because it's awesome. Crazy fun with witches, samurai C-sections, zombie warriors, and hypno boobies. Yeah, hypno boobies. So whatever that means, I'm excited to eventually watch that down the road. But yeah. Whoa.
So I've got three that I'll share with the group. Eric, I'll give you the choice. I've got some fun ones here. Classy, trashy, or classic?
Trashy.
So semi-trashy. I gotta love this. This is some of the best artwork I've seen all year. And everybody's gonna laugh. This isn't really that trashy of a movie. But this American Psycho steelbook is incredible. So it looks like that, and that's just the sleeve. Look at this.
Sweet.
And the back of this is also great. It's him hiding the axe behind him. This is such a great release. And then on the inside, I'm so glad that they went this far. It's got his business card.
Is it like an actual business card that you can take out, or is it part of the case?
No, it's printed on the inside of the
That's
steel.
awesome.
But it is the 4K release. It's a Best Buy exclusive from Lionsgate. They're doing incredible work with the steelbooks this year. Gotta love it. So classic or trashy? I'm the sad little fanboy that has not classic or classy, I guess. I'm the sad little fanboy that wore this shirt. I got the 4K deluxe release of The Thing from the UK. And my God, like if you don't have any of these releases that all match from Carpenter, they're all 4K. They all come in these massive digipacks. It's got a real nice, it's a kind of low quality, but it's a lot of information in this booklet. But then this is everything. You open this up, two-sided. One side has a big double-sided fold-out poster. The other side has a whole bunch of postcards, and it's loaded with discs. These releases are crazy. So you got the 4K disc, you've got the Blu-ray disc, you've got the I think it's the soundtrack is in here, and then there is a Blu-ray disc of just features.
I've never seen a John Carpenter movie, so. No, okay.
So we've had a good show, everybody. Yeah, so these are incredible. I'm going to be stumping for this company all the time, and I know that I've finally talked Flip into doing the same, but I got these from Orbit.
Yes, Orbit.
And it's absolutely worth it.
I got an Orbit package this week. I forgot. Iron Monkey, Zoo, Mountains of Magic, or whatever, and some random Westerns. Orbit kicks ass. Best. Do not go to them. Don't buy from them. I want to keep it between me and Ryan because they have some out of print stuff still. That's just like normal prices. So
the last thing I'll share, boutique to the max, which is one of my things that I really love. I'm a sucker for A24 movies, and they put out their second boutique release from in-house of The Last Black Man in San Francisco. This is their 4K release in this huge sleeve, this big. And this thing is astonishing.
I never even heard of that movie until it got this release.
Really? It was decent in that first year. And they've got all kinds of art in here. Lots there's an essay that's written up. Everything. This release is just fantastic. It is as deep as the Midsummer release and even better because the Midsummer release was kind of embarrassing for them. It was literally a disc with no menu. When you put in the 4K disc, all it said was, do you want subtitles, yes or no? You clicked yes or no, and then the movie played, and that was it. This comes with all kinds of special features, and it's a much better release. So stoked on that. Dustin's here. What's going on, Dustin? And Jeff, yes, I believe Flip was joking about Carpenter because I probably would have murdered him in his sleep tonight.
Ghost of Mars is his magnum opus. Not lying. That's a great movie.
I mean, it's fun, but magnum opus.
Name a better Carpenter movie. See,
any of them.
Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Okay, you named the only thing that's probably worse.
What's that vampire movie he did? That's a great one.
I think it was called like Dracula or something. Frankenstein versus Dracula.
That's it.
Is there a Frankenstein versus Dracula?
I don't know.
Not from Carpenter.
Probably for Ronnie Yu. Just give it to a Hong Kong director.
It's a part of the Blind Swordsman MCU.
Oh, I'm sure I can find a way.
So going back to what we tasked you with this week, you touched on The Wailing a little bit. Eric, what are your thoughts on The Wailing overall?
I really liked it. I think this is it's only like my third or fourth viewing, but I think I do really like the storyline of it, and I do like the misdirects, especially like in the middle. It's really kind of like that would be the climax of a regular movie of this kind. The shaman scene in the middle. Then after that, it takes some turns that I enjoyed, and I do like the concept of not knowing who to trust, and you're stuck between having to make that choice. And if I were him, I would have made the wrong choice. I would have gone with the old dude. I would have trusted the old dude because it just seems so obvious. A young, attractive woman, and she seems kind of nice, maybe a little, and she's dressed in white. It's color of purity and stuff. It just screamed like, don't trust this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were hammering Jun Kunimura's character. The Japanese guy's evil. The Japanese guy's well. I don't. Are we discussing spoilers here tonight?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
But yeah,
okay. But yeah, I was just because they were really hammering that for a while, and I'm like, well, it can't be that now. You know what I mean? It's got to be something else. But they did that kind of snake misdirect near the end, and it got me because I assumed I would have made the same decision as he made in, you know.
So I didn't realize that this is the same director as The Chaser.
Oh yeah.
And The Yellow Sea, is that a good movie? The Yellow Sea.
Yeah.
So 3 bangers this guy's done.
Yeah.
Only 3 movies. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Medium.
Yeah, that's coming out next week on Shudder, I think.
Oh, really? Whoa, really?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that
a Thai horror film from the director of Shudder, and it's maybe either written and produced by Na Hong Jin, right? I don't know if he wrote it.
Yes, he is the writer and producer.
Okay.
Huh. Yep, and then
for those of you that have been following along the October watch along on my channel, The Wailing was today's movie because all Tuesday for October we were having his folk horror, and The Wailing is an interesting take on a folk horror. Do you think it falls pretty fairly in that genre, Eric?
Oh yeah, yeah. It kind of has like a witchcraft angle to it.
What was that, Flip?
I said you guys are more versed to answer that question. Is the Black Widow tomorrow? Wants to know, JT. Are you guys gonna watch Black Widow tomorrow?
On my watch along tomorrow is the devil, or I almost said the Devils, The Witches from 1990 with Angelica Houston.
Is there a sniper scene in the Black Widow? Because it will go on Snipetober. It will go on the snipe list.
I mean, technically there are snipers in that movie.
Someone said I should just drop the sniper movies and just do Wesley Snipes movie. You call it Snipetober. And I said, honestly, that's probably a lot better than what I'm doing.
The Blade trilogy is incredible.
And Blade,
well, the first 2
are incredible.
Well, you kind of have to throw all in there just for
stars. Then you get Ryan Reynolds in the third one, and he's unbelievably hot. What are some other good Snipes movies?
Demolition Man.
Oh yeah,
Demolition Man.
I always like Drop Zone too. I don't know, I liked it.
Has he done anything since Tax Evasion?
He did. Dolomite Is My Name.
Is that good?
It was an Oscar nominated. Do you know who Dolomite is? Do you know the whole story of Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is the take, like the actual take on Rudy Ray Moore's story, and his acting is incredible, both of them.
Is it like a straight up blaxploitation film?
It's more of it's a pretty realistic take on things, like a superimposed realistic take on Rudy Ray Moore, and I honestly I think you'd enjoy it.
Video Store says he loves the Witches.
Yeah,
The Witches is incredible.
It's great.
JT Gamer, happy birthday! All Tom Berenger, the original sniper. I watched that. Like I said earlier, watched the first one. It's a movie. It's a movie.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. New Jack and White Man Can't Jump, both incredible. With
White Man Can't Jump is great. Yeah.
Yep. Money Train's not bad, but I would say New Jack is leagues better.
The only thing I'm worried about watching with all these sniper movies is I'm going to start watching WWE. And I'm not ready to be that person.
You already drink Monster. You're halfway there.
I feel like that's a Mountain Dew group. I feel like I'd be switching to Mountain Dew. And then I'm going to start beating the shit out of my wife.
I mean, you're already racist. It makes sense.
I have a question. I asked Ryan this off air. Eric, tell me if this is racist, okay? So I'm watching Kung Fu movies a lot this week. And, mostly Kung Fu, some samurai stuff. And my daughter goes, what's he saying? And I said, I don't know, baby. He's speaking Chinese. And she goes, Chinese? Oh, that's cool. And now she knows when I put in a movie if it's Chinese. So she says that she's speaking Chinese. And when she does it, she goes like, ching chong ding dong, like she does the racist sounds, but she's only 3. So is that racist or is that cute?
No, that's not racist.
That's what she's like. She genuinely likes him. She's like, that's a cool movie. And if you ask her what her favorite movie is, she goes, I love Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
So, but like Ryan said, if I take her out to eat or take her out to the grocery store, and she's like, "Look, a Chinese person," and then starts doing that.
Yeah.
That would be so funny and I would be very embarrassed.
To speak off of that, did you have anything as a child that happened like that was embarrassing?
Who, me?
Either one of you.
A child embarrassed? Oh, I said something
like you did as a child, yeah.
Yeah, I got one. My mom owned a hair salon back in the day and used to go there and hang out, when we didn't have babysitter and stuff. So I was in the hair salon, and somebody was asking about my brother, my older brother, and like, yeah, my brother's a junkie. He's a junkie. And I said it like multiple times, and my mom goes, no, he's a junk food eater. He likes junk food. He's not a junkie. So I made that mistake before.
One time in the restaurant, I used to just go and sit with like the regulars, like when I was a little kid, like people that my parents knew and trusted. I'd go and sit and talk to them. We had a dining room full of people, and my mom goes, "Filippo, vinica," which in Italian means "come over here right away." And for whatever reason, because I didn't do this, I just stood up in front of a dining room full of people. And I just started crying. I said, "Please don't beat me with the belt again." And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" My mom said they were pretty embarrassed.
I don't have one, but I was with my stepmom and my sister one time, and my sister was like 3 and dropped something, and she turned around to get it, and I don't remember what it was. It was in a supermarket, and it started to roll, so she followed it while still bent over, and when she got up to it, there was somebody standing in front of her that was this old lady that was very overweight, and my sister picked up the thing, and when she looked up, there was just a massive ass in her face, and my 3-year-old sister literally yelled, "Fat butt," and smacked her ass.
I witnessed my dad when I was like 15. A very large woman came in the restaurant, and he goes, "Oh, how far along are you?" And she was like, "I'm not pregnant." My dad doesn't get sarcasm. My dad's a very serious man. He doesn't joke. I've never seen him embarrassed in my entire life. He turned fucking red and was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Yeah, you never asked that. And then my mom was like, "Jerry, you can't say that." And he was like, "I thought she was pregnant." It's like, no, she's just fucking fat.
So back to the 2 movies. Let's share. Based on let's go Noroi first. What do you guys think would be perfect pairings to make a double feature with Noroi?
Honestly, I think these 2, if you watch them back to back, are a good pairing because you have one that is a found footage movie and one that's not. I feel like doing 2 found footage movies back to back for me would get a little,
of course, yeah,
a little dragged down. But I would say a good pairing with that would be, Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart at the River Styx. It's a perfect movie. Another Japanese classic. No, but in all seriousness, I would say Malignant would be a good.
That's a good take, actually.
Even though I wasn't too hot on that movie, that twist was fucking cool as shit. And I think that would be a good palate cleanser.
What about you, Eric? What do you think?
Yeah, he's kind of right about mixing it up, right? Because you might get too much of that found footage feel. But if I were to choose a found footage film, it would either be the Blair Witch Project or maybe Gonjiam, the Haunted Asylum, Korean film, yeah. Something like that. Or there's actually, or you could watch another film from this director that's nuttier, like Cult from 2013. It's some nutty stuff in it that's a little lighter than this, but.
Dustin says Pulse. What do you think about that one?
I'll watch that whenever.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
What I would
films this director has?
Huh?
46 what?
46 films this director has.
A lot of them are direct-to-video. Sweet can churn out like 8 or 9 of them in a few years.
Great minds think alike. Ice thinks Pulse as well.
What about you, Ryan?
I was thinking of going either, if you're going to keep it Asian, I think this would be a good fit with Ju-on. Just overall tone of the night. And if you didn't want to go with that, I think that something like Noroi would work with something, and this is off the wall, and I know you haven't seen it, Flip, but Haunt from a few years ago in the U.S. I think it's an interesting one. It's not found footage, but it's a very one location with interesting settings, all in one location. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. It's basically about some kids getting stuck in a haunted house, and the haunted house, of course, has something nefarious going on. But it's surprisingly well done. There were some people that lambasted that upon release, and it got a bad reputation for some reason. I think it's pretty well done. Yeah, if anybody wants the blue of that, it came out from Ronin Flicks.
I feel like with horror movies, I don't ever trust what critics say.
Agreed.
Because they're usually very poorly reviewed.
Unless they're horror critics. There's a big difference.
Or unless it's like A24, and then they're like, everyone's like, oh my God, this movie's incredible.
They have the review written just because they saw the A24 logo.
Yeah. But I usually trust like the few people I follow on Letterboxd. I trust Ryan. I would say he's my go-to horror aficionado. And then I trust Eric for Asian horror movies, because that's like your favorite subgenre, right? It's like Asian horror movies.
Probably, yeah.
And then Eric, I want to ask you, what's A Record of Sweet Murder?
Oh, that's from the same director.
From the same director. It's the highest rated out of all my friends on Letterboxd, like 5 stars across the board.
It's a little odd. It's a limited location film. Love the ending. But you need patience with that one.
Is it a found footage?
Yeah.
And it came out from Unearthed Films, which we've talked about before.
Again?
They do a lot of the extreme titles.
Huh. Yeah, critics, man. I'm really glad Roger Ebert died. He gave The Raid only 2 stars. The fucking jaw.
I never liked him. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. That's terrible. He's from here. He's from where I'm from.
I mean, I guess I can't judge him and Siskel because I never really read their review. I'm sure the written reviews are far better, but their show was just awful. I just didn't like him.
That's the thing I don't understand with critics is that, like, if you have a publication and you have a guy who specializes in something, wouldn't you want them to, like, review that thing? Yeah, I've also heard that Haunted Asylum was really good as well.
It's good.
I really want to find Grotesque again, because that movie is severely out of print on DVD. Like, it's like $100.
I believe it had been rumored to be getting a decent Blu-ray release, but I think that's all but gone at this point.
That movie is hard to watch. Like, not even like joking. That is a fucked up movie.
Mm-hmm.
That dude needs help.
That's his only super violent film, really, out of all of his films that I've seen.
That is like, it's not just super violent. It's like guinea pig level.
Yeah.
Oh man, guinea pig. When's that going to get a special edition?
I mean, Unearthed Films.
For real, do they have like a nice in print release?
Not in print, no.
Damn it. Because those movies, I remember being a kid and someone showing, like, not a kid, but like junior high school, and someone showing me that like at like a party or whatever, and all my friends were just like, "Did we just watch a real snuff film? Like we're like what the fuck?"
Like Charlie.
Everybody says the same thing about August Underground.
Yeah, that's also another. Fred Vogel. Fred's awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, even though I'm not a horror guy.
I just checked, and for those wanting it as a double feature, I believe Haunted Asylum is put on Shudder for this month.
Huh. Shudder seems to have everything.
Yeah. They
also have a great action movie called Reborn with Tak Sakaguchi, which is phenomenally good. Eric, did you like Reborn?
Oh yeah, looks good.
It's so fucking good. That is Evil Dead Trap's out, right? But there's problems with the disc.
Nope, the disc is fine. That's from Unearthed Films as well.
Well, hey, Unearthed Films sponsor us.
So what about pairings for The Wailing?
Memories of a Murder. I'm not kidding. What? That's a great another Korean film. Fantastic.
There's a Korean film called Possessed from 2009 that has kind of some it has like a not a same vibe, but a kind of a similar little vibe to it. It's a nice little film I would pair with this.
I'm trying to think. I don't have too many Korean horror movies. I mean, I would just suggest like a random Korean action movie, like The Villainess, or No Tears for the Dead, which I just watched. Fantastic.
I'm going to take a sort of a hot take to this one. I'm going to say this would pair really well with the U.S. remake of The Ring. It would change up the tone quite a bit, and it still stems from some of the same sort of feel, but it'd be an interesting
color schemes and style.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. Like you want that mix. You want it's like a food dish.
Exactly.
You don't want something that's too rich. You got something to cut the richness with some citrus or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a good idea to always pair stuff with something that's a little different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's in, because now that we're doing that, I think of a good pairing of a horror movie. I'm trying to think of something recent.
While you think of that, John said Shudder is absolutely worth the $7. I completely agree. And if you can swing it, I think it is still only $50 for the year. You get a discount if you pay a little bit ahead of time. And Ice is asking, isn't Poughkeepsie Tapes intense too? Have either of you seen the Poughkeepsie Tapes?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit and say it's not that intense compared to a lot of the other things.
Well, I mean, compared to guinea pigs and all that stuff, yeah.
And that's I'm just gonna put some context in the conversation. It's intense if you're not a horror guy like Flip. If you're used to watching horror movies 12 months out of the year, it probably won't hit you as something very intense. But Poughkeepsie Tapes it's a good one. It's something that you should absolutely watch once.
I think if you want to watch stuff like that, like faux snuff films, start with that movie, then watch like the first two guinea pig films. I think the mermaid one is probably the best. I think that's like part 5.
Yeah.
And then go to Grotesque, because Grotesque is literally the most grotesque film I've ever seen. So
don't forget Tumbling Doll of Flesh. That's what that movie is.
Is that somewhere?
Flip's favorite.
How would you rank that? Is that worse than Grotesque, or is that
in terms of violence?
Yeah,
I think so.
Damn. Fuck, I need to watch this movie, dude.
Yeah. Oh, how about pairing The Wailing with Hereditary?
Oh,
that is a very good choice.
The Wailing with Annihilation.
I like that too.
That movie fucked me up too. The end with it's a great movie.
Here's an interesting take. I don't remember. I think you and I talked about this, Flip. I don't remember, but I think Annihilation is a better version of the Color Out of Space story than the Color Out of Space by Richard Stanley was.
Color Out of Space I could not get into.
It's not a terrible movie, but I'm just saying, because it wasn't even like touted as an adaptation of that story. I think it's actually a better version of it because of the trippy headspace nature of the last act of that.
I used to say Quiden as a double feature, and I kind of don't hate that.
It's an interesting one. Still get the Asian influence and all that. Yeah.
Or Hex by the Shaw Brothers.
Ooh, the Boxer's Omen.
I need to, Ryan, if I assign you one movie, you got to watch it this week. Just one.
I've got like 11 to watch for my channel.
Just one movie. Just one.
We'll see.
Okay. Can you guess what I'm gonna assign you?
Lone Wolf and Cub, Volume 12.
There's only 6, and Volume 2 is what I'm gonna give you. Or just watch Shogun's Assassin. Honestly.
What happened to assigning me one movie? You've already named 2.
I said or Shogun's Assassin.
Okay.
Because it knocks out the better parts of 1 with the best parts of 2, but you don't get the story. Yeah, I love Lone Wolf. I'm a sucker for those movies. I just watched Baby Cardigan at the River Styx. It's a great movie. I know everyone judges me. I'm just like, I'm obsessed with that movie. It's so good. It's just, Eric, you've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just everything about that movie, like where he stabs the sand, and
yeah, they're all those movies are good.
Fucking good. And Ogie's been watching them. I finally convinced him to watch them. And every time he watches one, he calls me, and we just gush about that one. And I love getting friends, because he was kind of reluctant too. He was like, I don't know. And he watched it, and he was like, dude, holy fuck. Lone Wolf McQuade. Yes.
Gotta love Chuck Norris.
I love Chuck Norris. He's my favorite. Was he at the insurrection?
I don't think so.
There was photos floating around of people that look like him. Ryan, hope you have the Ronin Flicks Blue of Lone Wolf McQuade. There's a Blu-ray of that?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Hey, Eric. Eric's my new best friend. Eric totally understands.
There you go.
It's so good.
So other than the 2 assigned movies, and I'm not going to discuss the ones I told everybody I was going to discuss on Thursday for my channel, what else did you watch this week that you'd like to highlight, Eric?
Outside the Men Behind the Sun film, I'm doing sequel. Oh, there's one that kind of disappointed me a little bit. I loved Possessor so much, so I watched Antiviral, which I thought was pretty good, but I don't know, the pacing. I had problems with the pacing in that movie. I was like fidgeting in my seat. It needed a little bit more oomph to it, but it was good enough certainly to recommend. But if anybody's gonna watch it, brew some coffee. And then
I just picked that one up recently myself. I'm curious. Can you see like the roots of Possessor in Antiviral at all?
Sure, I think so.
Interesting.
So good. That movie is so good.
And then I watched The Collector and The Collection.
Nice.
I saw The Collector back in the day. I had problems with the contrivances, but I knew what I was getting into, so I enjoyed it more. Then I watched The Collection for the first time, and like the opening 15 minutes of that movie is just almost a comedy. I was just like laughing in the dance club scene. But I liked both of those.
That is such a sadistic pairing of movies. And I'm kind of sad that supposedly they were all set to film a third one, and there was like a break-in on the set or something, and supposedly they scrapped everything after that.
Really?
And they're not working on it anymore.
I watched recently Kill Them All and Come Back Alone.
What's that one? Or are those 2 different movies?
It's just one movie. It's got, I think, Chuck Connors. Let me see if that's who it is. Yeah, it's got Chuck Connors. It's directed by Enzo Castellari, who did the original Inglourious Bastards and Keoma. He did Keoma with Franco Nero.
Nice.
And this movie is one of, I would say, now top 5 favorite spaghetti westerns of all time for me. And It's very overlooked. And judging by the reactions on Letterboxd, it's severely underrated. It's like a Dirty Dozen, Magnificent Seven, but like ultra violent, and a lot of like double crossing happening. It was so much fun to watch. I put it in. I've had it for a while. I think Kino put it out last year, and I put it on recently and was just blown away by how good it is. And like I said recently, I watched No Tears for the Dead again, and I think that movie is a better movie than The Man from Nowhere.
That's a hot take.
I think The Man from Nowhere. How do I say this without? It's just the thing you hear about that movie is the knife fight. You know, like, it's like, oh man, the knife fight. I was so let down by the knife fight in that movie. I thought it was kind of boring and kind of just. I found the action in in the No Tears for the Dead to be much more visceral.
Yeah, I could see that.
The back of the box says raid level action, which no, it's not. No. But it's good. It's really good. I like the story a bit more. I mean, it's not about just protecting a little girl. A little girl straight up dies in this, like the first 10 minutes of the movie, which kind of had me a little fucked up. But it's a great movie, man. That's a sniper movie. There's a sniper in that movie. I forgot. There's a great sniper scene in that movie. I need to add that to the list. And I also rewatched Wind River just because it came on TV. It was on like FX or something, and that's got a snipe scene in it too.
I was about to say that.
One of the best snipe scenes in recent memory, man. That is, woo, that movie, man, where the guy goes, "You're flanking me," like in that tension in that scene is so good. Oh, Evil Dead's great, man. The remake of Evil Dead.
The remake is incredible. I was going to highlight that.
That movie's fucking good.
This week, my cool one, I think you and I talked about this last week off air a little bit, Flip, is I showed both of my kids, 5 and 6 years old, I chose to show them Jurassic Park.
Nice.
And good God, do I love that movie. That movie is so well paced, some of the greatest dialogue ever, and it still really holds up. Some of the CG that is like the innovative CG that they had at the time that was the first of its kind, it looks great. It's obviously fake now compared to a lot of the newer stuff we got, but for 1993 or whatever it was, it's incredible. Mm-hmm. Absolutely amazing.
He's got a very promising career ahead of him.
I can't wait to see what he does next. Well, West Side Story.
I could totally wait because I think he went downhill after Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that Sam Neill guy should have some good stuff coming in the future too.
I love Sam Neill so much.
What do you think is your best? What's the best modern Spielberg film?
Modern, as in
last
modern meaning after what?
Years. I would say after Private Ryan.
Oh,
you had to cut it off there, huh?
It's like downhill from there.
Yeah.
Ready Player One? No.
Lincoln almost put me to sleep.
Yeah, Lincoln made me want to just kill myself. It was so bad.
Maybe Ready Player One?
No. Oh, man, that movie's...
But I could sit through it.
That's true. It does have a Gundam in it.
It has stuff. Explosions and stuff.
Is Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah, that is after. That was 2002. Okay. Yeah, that's easily the best one.
Yeah.
But then what's after
that? The Terminal and War of the Worlds, and then probably his best movie in quotes, Munich, was also after that.
Okay, Munich is good. Munich I like.
Oh, War of the Worlds I hated that one.
Yeah, War of the Worlds, the remake is not great. The other one, what was I about to say? I was just clicking on something else. AI, artificial intelligence, is also in there.
Is he like, I mean, how do I word this without sounding, is he like the most overhyped director?
Because I don't think so.
He's
not by a long shot.
Let me hear me out. He's got some great films, and the movies that are good are fucking phenomenal. Jurassic Park, obviously, is great. Saving Private Ryan, obviously great. I don't like Jaws, but I know I'm the minority in that group.
Yes, you are.
I am the minority in that group.
That's pretty damn close to a perfect movie.
Yeah,
perfectly okay. But then after that, we can only name Catch Me If You Can in Munich. Like he's like a slightly better J.J. Abrams for me.
Schindler's List, Hook, Indiana Jones, The Color Purple, E.T. He did part of Twilight Zone the movie.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Is like everything past a certain point, he was great up to one point, and then
that was not what your qualifier was. You said, "Is he the most overrated director?"
I mean, now in modern times is what I should have said. Is he the most overrated now in modern?
I don't think he has the same clout, at least to the public, that he did in 1993.
Well, even my parents know that he's coming out with a new movie. Like they don't even know what it's about, but they're like, "Oh, Steven Spielberg's got a new movie."
Popular does not mean clout, though.
Okay, I don't know. He's like an American Tarkovsky for me. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I used to love Jurassic Park. I'm just weird. I don't know. I watched
the other one
again, so don't even take my opinion as anything worthwhile.
That's true. The other one that I watched this week that I think is a modern classic that doesn't get enough attention anymore, which is going to bring this down to a whole new trashy level.
Oh, no.
I watched as part of a had to stay at home because I got 2 young kids, date night with me and my wife. We watched Not Another Teen Movie Again. And I got to be honest, that movie is fucking hilarious.
It's better than Jaws.
I never saw it.
It is the first of the satires that came out like before Scary Movie and Epic Movie and all those crappy ones. It is essentially like the modern day version of Airplane.
It's got Chris Evans in it.
Yes, and it was his first feature film. And it is nonstop jokes, and it is genuinely good comedy. There's some comedy of the time. It came out in 2001, so it's got some insensitive language that it gets away with. But yes, Chris Evans has a banana in his ass in that movie, and it's hilarious.
Fun fact: according to Letterboxd, the director of Not Another Teen Movie went out and directed, it looks like every roast that's been on Comedy Central. Roast of James Franco, Charlie Sheen, Bob Saget, Donald Trump. Yeah, very weird. Very weird career.
Highly recommend Eric, and it's available on Netflix.
Yeah, Eric, I actually like that movie. But I'm also a big Jamie Presley fan, which is who's that girl from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she's like 90s Margot Robbie. They all
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, Chris Evans has a banana in his head. That's awesome. Spielberg couldn't get away with what Nolan does nowadays.
Which is absolutely true.
I mean, Nolan, did you see his deal that he made?
No, I didn't see any figures on it.
Oh, dude, yeah. Let me pull this up because the Christopher Nolan deal is insane.
Who did he go with?
I'm gonna pull it up.
It's not Warner this time. I know he split away from them.
Universal.
Universal.
Yeah.
Is it because of what they did with Tenet, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's I'm trying to pull this up. There was a infograph going around that I saw that was.
You see this comment?
I hope so.
Eric, one of the best gags in the beginning of Not Another Teen Movie is there is a foreign exchange student that comes in, and she is completely nude in high school, and they have subtitles around her accent, and they go around her boobs so that you can keep looking while you read what she's saying.
Who's the person? Who's the actress? That's
I believe she's a supermodel now. Or was. Considering that was 20 years ago, I don't know if she's still doing that.
I actually recently, over the past, it was 2 or 3 years ago, I have no idea how I missed the movie when I was a kid. Top Secret. I just saw like 3 years ago. And that movie's great. That's a good one.
Interesting. There's a bunch of movies that flew under the radar for a lot of people around then. And if you didn't have...
I never saw The Hidden until a few years ago. How? I don't know.
Okay, so here it is. Here's the info on Christopher Nolan's new deal. $100 million budget, $100 million marketing budget. So out the gate, they're spending $200 million. He gets 20% of the first dollar gross.
Jesus.
The studio can't release a film 3 weeks or 3 weeks after. So for a total of 6 weeks, they have to have his movie playing. 100% creative control, and it's got to be in cinemas for 100+ days.
Jeez.
And
100 days.
100 days. And you want to know what the movie's about? It's about he's directing a movie about J. Robert Oberheim. And they're casting the main actor from Peaky Blinders. Cillian Murphy is going to be in it.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. He's worked with him quite a few times, yeah.
So just, man, I don't think anybody... Can you name another director that can do that? They can be like, I want $200 million, 20% of the first dollar gross.
Spielberg
now in 2021?
Yes, absolutely can. And I think that this is important to point out what Video Store said about it. They're not comparable. Spielberg, after all, has his own studio. He owns DreamWorks and can literally afford to make anything he wants. Nolan cannot.
Nolan's great. He's a little overrated, but he's great.
What's going on, Flex?
What's your favorite Nolan film, minus Batman?
I like Memento the most.
You like what?
Memento.
Mine is probably The Prestige.
That's up there. That's a cool flick.
I really like Tenet, like a lot.
This is where I lose my card. I have yet to watch Tenet.
That's fun.
At all. After what everybody said about the audio on it, I'm kind of iffy.
I watched it at home without subtitles the first time, and me and Taylor could understand it perfectly. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I thought it was very entertaining. I think it might have some problems in how it uses its concept of time, though.
Yes. But it's just such a cool thing to see on screen. I think that's probably one of my favorites because I haven't seen anything like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's truly one of the times I've sat down for a movie and been like, "Whoa, that's cool."
I'm curious too because it's the audio is messed up, but I watch everything with subtitles already, so that sort of thing doesn't bother me too much. But my big thing is I have loved everything John David Washington has done that I've seen him in.
He's amazing in that film. Like he is incredible.
Damn.
Just like such a good actor. And then also Robert Pattinson, man.
Yeah, he was good
yeah.
in that one. I liked him a lot.
Movie.
I need to go back and watch his stuff after Twilight because I've heard he's done some really good
Honestly,
stuff.
he's my
after.
favorite working actor. Like every time I see something he's in, I'm just like, fucking bravo.
Have you seen anything of his after Twilight, Eric?
I don't
You
think
haven't
so.
seen Lighthouse?
No.
Wow.
Oh man, dude, Lighthouse.
How are we still sitting here and not watching Lighthouse right now?
I have a VHS copy just sitting right here. We can go watch Lighthouse right now. I love that movie, dude.
Probably a little bit of a hot take for Flip here. Lighthouse is an incredible film. It's a work of art. I love it. But I think Pattinson might have a better performance in Good Time.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard of that
cannot
one,
argue with that, man. Good Time is also so good.
The Safdie brothers. That's what I was trying to say. They also did obviously Uncut Gems, but the way that they get tension in you that you can like physically feel.
Yeah, Taylor refuses to watch their movies now. She watched Good Times and Uncut Gems.
So uncomfortable.
And she goes, "I'm never watching another movie from those two because I have anxiety every time." And it's not.
Are they comparable to like Zoller in that regard?
No, like these Zoller has like Zoller's movies have like a little bit of a. They're not like fantastical, but they're not super grounded.
Okay.
Good Uncut Gems feel like they happen, like they are really happening.
They are tense for me because they're relative. You can easily put yourself in that situation to go, fuck, I would want out of there so bad right now.
And like their endings are, especially the ending of Uncut Gems, did not see that coming. And then the ending of Good Times felt so real. Like it wasn't like, oh, it's so visceral. Like just oh man, it's so good.
I agree.
God, you should watch The Lighthouse.
Pattinson is literally probably the best working actor, in my opinion.
Pattinson gets cum on his face in The Lighthouse. He gets semen on his face. And you see a mermaid vagina.
Don't spoil it.
It's already spoiled.
It's big. I'm going to tell you, spoil it. It's a big pussy. It's huge. I think they used like a... What they used? They used like an actual animal's vagina outlet.
No, that was my mom.
Wow, dude. That explains how you came out 6'5" or whatever you are.
By the way, sometimes she does watch my videos, so sorry, Mom. I was kidding.
Oh my god. But I just gotta say, Mrs. Verrill, nice pussy, I guess.
Jesus Christ. Oh, you know what's funny? I had a friend growing up that bought a really sexy, like 1978 or something like that Corvette, baby blue, really gorgeous car, and he babied it like nothing. It was incredible. And just to fuck with me, this guy got a license plate cover around his license plate in California in a fairly small town. Like our graduating class was like 350 people. So not huge, but not tiny. And his license plate cover said, "My other ride is Ryan's mom."
What did your mom think of that?
I don't know that she ever found out, but she probably would have just laughed it off.
Is she hot?
My mom, no.
I mean,
not even like objectively.
So you just said that to be a fucker?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh.
Augie asked a question here. Has anybody seen Tampopo?
Yeah, it's a very, very unique, oddball film about food, which I really like. It's a director who needs more of his stuff released. Juzo Itami, I think, directed that. Released some good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I've talked to him about it. It's a pretty good movie.
I have not. I am behind on a lot of those.
I feel like you're behind on a lot of Asian movies.
To a point. My wife, again, grew up very sheltered, and I show her everything. And for years, I could not get her to watch any subtitled movies that weren't English for some reason, even though we watched everything with subtitles. And it was always me having to watch it after she went to bed. So I did not have a lot of time.
We need to take the hashtag Stop Asian Hate and stop Ryan's Asian hate for Asian cinema.
I love Asian cinema.
And just have him watch a bunch of good stuff. All right. So, Eric, if you were making a list of like 5 films, essential Asian films for Ryan to watch.
Just from all countries?
All countries. Like you can pick one from each major country.
All right. The Excel sheet's coming out here. Just
and
5.
Down below, yeah.
I need one from each area then. Just one, because otherwise I'd be, and that you're not even hitting every country doing that. But let's see, Japan, right? Have you seen Cure?
I don't think so.
Is that
Cure?
Park Chan-wook?
Yeah, Cure would be like number 1, and maybe
Vampire movie.
Confessions might be number 2 for Japan, but
wait, no, I'm thinking about a different movie. I'm thinking about Park Chan-wook's movie.
You're thinking of Thirst.
Is it Thirst that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cure is the Japanese one from Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Chinese. I don't know. Do you like Christopher Doyle as a cinematographer?
I don't know the name offhand.
He did a lot of Wong Kar-wai's stuff.
I mean, it looks nice.
I mean, my favorite romance is Green Tea, so I'll just tell you Green Tea from China.
That's a solid pick.
South Korea. You know what? I got to go romantic comedy. I'll do another romance because it's probably my favorite romantic comedy. It's called Couples from 2011. It's really cool. It's a really good movie.
Nice.
Thailand. Have you seen Chocolate?
Oh, the action movie. That's a great movie, man.
I feel like I have, but I can't remember anything about it.
The young girl who's autistic and she learns martial arts.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I'm thinking
flick.
about something different then.
Yeah, Chocolate's a good flick. What is that, 4 now? And then I need one more. Let's do... We could do Hong Kong then, because it's different from China. What a Hong Kong flick. Maybe... Have you seen Infernal Affairs?
Don't think so.
Oh yeah. Man. There you go.
So
there you go. Green Tea, Infernal Affairs, Couples, Cure, and Chocolate.
That's almost a sentence. I feel like Flip is going to assign me 6 movies this week.
I almost said that as a joke. But for real though, Japanese film, I would say Baby Car the River Styx. It's my favorite Japanese film. For Chinese, not Hong Kong, Chinese, I would say the international version of Hero, not the one that we got here, because I got cut up a little bit. And then I would say Hong Kong Exile.
Yeah,
Johnny To.
That's another good one.
Great film.
Yeah.
Amazing film. And then South Korea. Oh, man. I would say Aimless Bullet from South Korea.
Do a classic.
And then you already saw The Raid 2. I was going to say Indonesia's The Raid 2. But now I'm going to say The Night Comes for Us because you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That movie is wild.
That will probably be one of my first November picks. I'm actually rather excited to see
that. I feel like that could be a horror movie.
It's close.
It's from a guy who does mainly horror. It's got the body count. It's got the gore of a horror movie. Like it's.
I love that scene you showed.
Oh man, I didn't even show you the best part of that scene. It's man, that movie's so good. She gets her pinky. Did like you see that part where she just rips the pinky off? She takes a knife and cuts the other girl from up here and just drags the blade all the way down her. Oh man, such a good movie. The body count's insane in that movie. There's a scene like where they're fighting a couple of minutes before that. There's like an overhead view and there's just body parts everywhere. God, that movie's phenomenal. Phenomenal movie. New World. Yes, New World.
Very good. Yeah.
That's a great film. Chocolate Whip, says John. Sip from the
Silip.
Philippines. From the Philippines.
That is a Mondo Macabro release. I just
I
got
haven't seen
recently.
that one. If I had to pick from the Philippines, I would say Birdshot. It might still be on Netflix. Great flick.
How about North Korea? Former leader Kim Jong Il's favorite film was Friday the 13th. Is that real? What? What? That's awesome.
Apparently he did have a huge cinema collection that only he, of course, could watch, but
what the fuck? That's so cool. Oh man. God.
I can't type.
I'm so excited for the rest of the year. The releases coming are so insane.
well, they better be good. My wallet's gonna be punished, and it's weird because I ordered all these things. I feel like forever, and I'm just waiting for them forever.
That's a good point.
What are the chances of the Shaw box set coming out in 2021?
I think it's getting lower by the day.
Because they pushed back Snake Hair, whatever girl. They pushed back the physical release of that.
I have mine.
I mean, like, it got pushed back originally. It was supposed to come out.
Oh, yeah. And Jang Yimou got pushed back a few weeks, and yeah.
I'm fingers crossed that it comes out, man. They haven't said any delays. They showed off what the full box set looks like.
Well, keep in mind it's October 5th. It's still 2 months away.
I mean, still. Eureka's got that box set coming out next month. We got the Sabata. Have you seen the description? I don't know. Is the Sabata just a regular Blu-ray case with a slipcover? Because it says it has reversible cover art for all movies. So I want to know if that's like
for all movies.
I'm pretty sure. Let me pull up the diabolical listing of it, or the official Eureka website, because it says something like the wording is very specific to where, it's like browse all. Let me see.
Interesting.
Sabata. All right.
I agree with John all about that Nun box set from Severin.
Oh yeah, right here. Special features. O-card slipcase, right? But this is reversible sleeve featuring original poster art for each film. That's the exact wording. So is it? That's what's weird. O-card slipcase, reversible sleeve featuring original poster artwork for each film. So it'd have to be 2 Blu-ray cases if they're going to do each film. You have one for 1 and 2, and then the third one would be by itself.
Theoretically, I've never seen a company do this, but they could do an art piece that has the cover for one on one side and then upside down the cover for the next one, so you could put the cover art on that way, so it's on the front.
Yeah.
And then on the reverse, you could have the third and then the back of the case. That would be a really odd choice, but it could theoretically work.
And it's also got a collector's edition booklet, which they always do. But it just seems like, because The Great Silence is getting a hard case. It's getting a slip case. And this isn't. So, but they're saying reversible artwork for each movie, which that's fine.
Yeah, it's odd that they're saying O-ring slipcover for that.
Wait. So, okay. So, yeah, Sabata says O-card slipcase. And then you go to The Great Silence and they showed out, it pulls out sideways from it. And that says O-card slipcase. So maybe it is a hardbound case. Because I know for a fact The Great Silence is a hardbound case.
Flex Eureka is releasing The Great Silence.
It's out right now on Film Movement, which is a great release.
Right.
I believe it's the same transfer. So it says 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from a 2K transfer. If they would have done it, they would have said specifically that they were doing the transfer. So I'm going to guess it's the same transfer, but this has more special features. It's got commentary by Howard Hughes, commentary by Mike Siegel, interviews, a little bit. Alex Cox talked about Corbucci for 15 minutes. It's loaded with special features. This one I might actually double dip because it's my second favorite spaghetti western behind Django. Both by the same director. So yeah, I'm a little confused by that listing. But did you guys
Very interesting.
Did you guys see the special features for the Cinematic Vengeance box set?
Mm-mm.
Did they announce everything already?
They announced it, so you get 8 films across 4 Blu-rays, 2 movies per disc. Hardbound case, 60-page booklet, so 60 pages. You get 8 lobby cards, and then all the original Mandarin soundtracks. Blah blah. Disc 1 and 2 have brand new audio commentary tracks from a variety of Hong Kong experts. So they haven't said exactly who. And then disc 3 and 4. So it seems like every movie is getting a commentary track, which is awesome. And I'm hoping Frank Zhang
hopefully
does some stuff because he's amazing. Just based on what's going on right now, who wins 2021 for you?
Oh, Jesus.
Just so far, like if you just had a gut feeling.
I don't even really keep track of. I always forget which labels released what. I'm gonna need Ryan to send me a list or something before the end of the year because I forget.
Based primarily on my tastes, I don't think I can answer anything besides Severin for this year. I think they have come back from a low point to a point where they have surpassed other similar style labels, and it's like they leapfrogged in quality. The stuff that they are putting out this year, the love into some of these box sets, just the full core box set that is supposedly coming in December alone is quite possibly like that could have been their only release for 4 months, and I still may have said this.
I had zero interest, just in like a, I don't know. It's like when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, okay, full core, whatever. And then I looked at what was in it, I'm like, I cannot not get this.
It is astonishing how much over the world they are covering in that box set.
For me, it's definitely Eureka. I mean, their Hong Kong stuff this year has been mind blowing. Like,
I'm shocked you didn't say Arrow.
Arrow's had a weird year. I mean, the stuff that they release I've loved, but they haven't been consistent. And it seems like every month Eureka is just like starting the year out with the 3 Lucky Stars films, a nice slip cover. The 2 John Ford westerns, those silent westerns, were great. Even though I think Kino put those out last year, but it was nice to have them in a 2-pack. Millionaire's Express blew me away. Was not expecting that film to be as fun as it is, and having 4 versions of that movie: One Armed Boxer, Duel to the Death, and now we're getting Sabata. We're getting the Ringo Lam film that's coming out. We also got PTU earlier this year, which was great. We're getting Cinematic Vengeance and then Great Silence. So
was Wait, we're talking Arrow, right?
No, that was
Eureka.
Oh, that was Eureka, right?
But man, Arrow as well, man. Irizumi, Blind Beast,
Vengeance Trails,
Daimajin,
Tezuka's Barbara, which I liked.
Years of Lead,
Snake Girl, Silver Hair Witch.
Yep. Yokai Monsters.
Legend.
Yeah, that's not for me, but I know people love that movie.
Have you seen Legend before?
No.
I think you should, just because primarily it gives us one amazing thing. Yes, Tom Cruise is, I know he's not up your alley or whatever, but
I love him. What are you talking about?
That was sort of a joke, but also sort of not. Tim Curry's depiction of the devil is the best devil in cinematic history.
Yes.
Even better than the one in Constantine? Because that is a great... Who is that?
It is it Peter Stormare?
It is Peter Stormare. It is, yeah. He's great, man.
What I was going to say is
Toyota set too.
Oh yeah. Tim Curry in there, he's comparable to Constantine, and it's that good. And look at the year that came out, and it makes it that much more impressive.
Tom Cruise hasn't aged a day since.
It's probably true. And he still has that weird center tooth thing, and he's a Scientologist, so nobody cares.
I love him. He's my favorite Scientologist.
That would be like a weird ranking to do. Top 10 favorite Scientologists.
Now, would you put Leah Remini on that because she's a ex-Scientologist, but she's still one of my favorites.
If you're ever one, maybe you are one for life.
There's a Scientologist place here in town. I've thought about converting a couple times.
They bought a big property here in Kansas City and have been making a big push over the last few years.
Are you gonna push your ass into there and have a good time?
Depends on how much they're willing to pay me.
Dude, if they make me a movie star, fuck yeah, dude. Evil Lord Xena.
Well, you actually have a chance. Tom Cruise is only like 5'3".
I'm taller than Tom Cruise.
Barely.
Hey, let me have a win. Let me have something in my life. Remember the Westboro Baptist Church? How could I forget?
Especially when John, I think John lives in Omaha or around Omaha. They come around here all the time because they're in Topeka.
What a nice group of people. Just very cool.
I love that that viral video of Dave Grohl trolling them happened when they were playing at one of the arenas down here in KC.
Dave Grohl's cool. I like Dave Grohl. Foo Fighters are a little meh though. I think the Tarkovsky are rock bands. Just never gonna do it. I love that Eric only laughs hardy at my jokes. He's the only one that's like, yeah, that's actually pretty dumb. I'm gonna have a good chuckle. So, Eric, what kind of music? Like, I've already asked you that. Fuck. What was I gonna ask you? What's your favorite religion?
I don't know. I've always actually one thing I've always found interesting, and we need more of it, is like witchcraft. Like movies about it and stuff like that. I think they could do more movies about witch, like legit, like maybe just more like entertaining movies too. Like thriller action flicks with witchcraft and sorcery would be cool.
I want to see more Wendigo movies.
Is that a religion, Wendigo?
It's like the Wiccan. God, I don't want to butcher this, so let me look up the actual definition here.
Sorry to offend all the Wiccan viewers of the three of our channels.
It is the mythological creature or evil spirit which originates from the folklore of First Nations based in and around the East Coast forest of Canada, the Great Plains region of the U.S., and the Great Lakes region.
So First Nations, he would have been wiped out by all the pilgrims.
Or the Catholics.
Speaking of, so what I like, because I'm Catholic, unfortunately, and what I like is when a movie or something takes because Catholicism has a lot of like mysticism to it, and I always find it like really fascinating when a movie takes it and like turns it into like fleshes it out and makes it weirder, kind of like Constantine does that. Oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Slenderman, but for Native Americans.
Exactly.
But I like, or like Hellsing, the manga and anime. Hellsing is a perfect example of this. The Catholic Church is like super evil in that, and I love when they take the rules and the structures and the ideas and turn it into something like even more fantastical.
Do Wiccans like pentagrams? I don't even know, because I'm just wondering. Because years ago, I was on a job out of town. I just went to dinner at a pasta place. It was a pasta restaurant. I walk in, and all the girls were wearing like it just seemed like goth atmosphere, and there were pentagrams spinning on the walls. So I don't know. So I was just wondering, like, I don't know, is it like a Wiccan restaurant?
Was the pasta sick? Was it good?
It was good. The food was good, but the atmosphere totally threw me off. I'm like, who owns this place?
I feel like girls that are Wiccan smell really bad.
That's a bad stereotype.
I feel like they're just as hairy as I am, and I'm not into that.
I mean, you're going bald.
I'm not talking about up there, my friend. I'm talking about from the neck down. Now, do you guys personal question, but there's a trend where girls won't shave their armpits. How do you feel about that?
No.
I love it. I remember being a little kid and we were in Sicily, and I remember seeing this gorgeous woman walked by, and she had she smelled of BO because they don't have a lot of deodorant in Sicily, and she had the biggest armpit bush I've ever seen in my life, and I was really confused. I remember I was like, "What the fuck?"
Although, less caution. Tang Wei had a little bit of armpit hair, and I would not care. So, yeah, I guess it depends.
It depends on the female.
Yeah.
So who's like
Basically,
who's like the hottest actress in the world to you, Eric and Ryan, both of you?
Historically, I might put in a vote for Edvig Fenech from the Jalo films. Your vice is a locked room, and only I have the key.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That would be my evidence. Now, I don't know.
What about you, Ryan? While like he's thinking of a modern one.
I think we've already had this conversation. I think it would have to be a three-way tie, and I was not going to stop at the word three-way there. I promise. It would probably have to include Aubrey Plaza for me. Probably in I don't even know what I would pick as her prime, but I can't even think of her name right now, and I feel like an idiot. Mila Kunis would probably have to be up there for me too.
Good choice.
Let me, so I am not an idiot, look up her name. Gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking on this right now. Her name is Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, from the Notebook.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange and a handful of other good things.
I'd say Miko Kaji.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
And Faye Wong.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Margot Robbie is like my go-to now.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
But yeah, God, who is it? There's a Korean actress. She's in the new Kingdom special. I think she's a TV actress mainly.
Jun Ji-hun.
Gianna
Gianna Jun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in My Sassy Girl back in the day. Yeah, hey, if you want a real treat, look up her tea commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Is she sassy in them? I wish she was.
Yeah.
Sassy,
Best tea commercials ever, bro.
Really?
Yep.
I don't even like tea.
No, you will after watching those.
Yeah, I mean that's probably There's just something about honestly any woman that's in a Wong Kar-wai movie, just the way he shoots those movies. I'm like,
yeah,
I just want to be there. I just want to be. That's dude. What's the word I'm looking for? There's it's the same feeling I get when I hear 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins, but there's like a feeling, that's my favorite song of all time. Like not like no joke, love that song. But when I watch a Wong Kar-wai film, like not like Ashes of Time, obviously, because that's a different thing, but it's like I miss being in a place that I've never been. Does that make sense? Like I've never been to Hong Kong. I'll never live those days, but I miss it in a weird way. There's a word for it. I don't know what the word's called, but God, I love those movies. Wong Kar-wai, what's up? How are you? Hope that he's all right. He's directing Chungking Express 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he announced that he wrote a script that he likes. How do you feel about that? Because that was my reaction too.
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, what has he done that's been any good since 2046 was his last good movie, and it was 16 years ago, 17 years ago.
Wong Kar-wai. Let me see.
I mean, a lot of directors lose the feel, dude. They lose the feel.
He did The Grandmaster.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was pretty good.
That was all right. I haven't seen Blueberry Nights.
I heard it was bad, but I haven't seen it.
I mean, speaking of women, it's got Rachel Weisz in it, Natalie Portman, Nora Jones. What is that movie about?
I don't know.
Romantic
I should just watch it just to see the movie that I missed.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah,
we should watch it this week, all three of us, and then review it next week. Watch my Blueberry Nights. You guys want to? No? Yeah, weird. The reception was pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
46%. But then again, we just talked about not trusting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That's a good point.
As tears go by, Days of Being Wild, Chungking Express, Ashes of Time, Fallen Angels, Happy Together. I haven't seen Happy Together.
Yeah, it's good.
In the Mood for Love 2046. Is there a better run in film history?
Argento had a solid run. Carpenter did too. Argento.
I think you can make an argument for most of the big name directors. They each had a really solid portion, and that's how they got to be a big name director.
Mm-hmm.
So we always look at the past. Who do you think's a director right now that we're going to look back on in 20 years and go, damn, like we were living in a moment. Like Sunday night, I was watching the Brady game and being like, this is the Michael Jordan of fucking football. Like we're living in a time that, when I'm an old man, I'm going to be like, I was watching Tom Brady on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like who in the future are you going to look back and go, man, I remember seeing that in theaters. I think the obvious answer is probably Nolan, but I don't want to say Nolan.
Right.
Who's like who's somebody?
Well, it's hard to tell because you got to pick somebody who's popular enough, right?
That's true, but then again,
there's like obscure directors like Shinya Tsukamoto for me, but nobody's going to care about him.
You don't think so?
He's got a lot more attention lately.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I mean, what's the movie that he did recently? The Killing.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I love that movie. I thought that was a great movie. That actor starring in something. The main actor in The Killing. He's in a new movie coming out.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's got a different feel about him.
Got a different look.
Yeah.
I think this is the other obvious answer is Denis. Yeah. For me, with my roots, I'm going to say that the three obvious answers for me are Ari Aster for Hereditary and Midsommar, and Robert Eggers for The Witch and The Lighthouse. And then the one that I'm going to throw out there, because if she keeps going on the run that she's on, she's going to be a legend in my book, and that's Jennifer Kent. Everybody seems to hate The Babadook because there's an annoying kid, but if you've ever worked around a kid with special needs, it's a very realistic movie, and it's something. The Nightingale, dude. The Nightingale was the first movie that I revealed on this channel, and it was a goddamn masterpiece.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really good flick.
I mean, as a guy who likes action movies, I really think if Havoc is good, Gareth Evans is going to be the one. In 20 years, we're going to go, man, I saw The Raid 2 in theaters. Like that was fucking wild.
I saw it 10 times in the theater.
Did you really?
God damn.
Oh,
I did not screw around with that one.
Have I not talked to you about The Raid 2? I think Zoller's up there, dude. Zoller's so far he's got a trilogy. M. Night.
I think M. Night, that's a hot take. I think he had a couple great films and has been riding those coattails for a long time.
And it's like weird because you'll have a good movie here and there. Like I saw Old.
Split
by
was
the
good.
way.
I liked Split, but
I saw Old, and fucking stupid.
I do agree. I think Split was great. I think McAvoy.
McAvoy helped that. Yeah, he was really good in that one.
In Old, can I spoil Old?
Yeah.
There's like the beach makes them old, and there's like an agency like watching them like get old, and like you watch this like 8-year-old girl then grow up and she's like a full-grown woman, but she still talks like a child, and they kind of like sexualize it in a way that made it really uncomfortable and very weird. And I was just like, what the fuck? Just a weird movie.
But I mean, I'll also throw out there Signs, The Sixth Sense, and Unbreakable are a trilogy of incredible films.
I think The Village is good too, man.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen The Village.
I actually like it. I think it's a fine movie. It's a hot take. Avatar, fantastic. I remember going to the movie theaters with my friend who was a diehard Avatar fan, and he's a very emotional guy. He actually cried at the end of the movie. He was like, that was fucking terrible. I can't believe what he just did. This was my childhood, like angry. And I was like, buddy, it's all right, man. Give me a hug. But I do think S. Craig and Gareth Evans are the two for me. Like just directors that are S. Craig just he seems really I don't know. He's like pushing boundaries. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like that scene in Cell Block 99. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah.
The fucking face scraping scene.
Yeah.
Is just the sound is just it's so grotesque. And then he also has the best names for anything, even his books. I just ordered a book today from him, one that I had in paperback, but I had to get the hardcover. And it's a Mean Business on North Ganson Street.
Nice.
You got that. You got Race of the Broken Land, Dragged Across Concrete. Bone Tomahawk. Oh,
Yeah,
I remember I got my parents to watch it.
Oh boy.
And my dad right away was like, Kurt Russell, Western, I'm in. And I'm like, and my mom goes, what's it about? And I was like, well, the name is pretty spot on with that. But yeah, you saw The Raid 2 10 times?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's my most highly anticipated film almost of all time. The only one that compares is Matrix Reloaded.
Now, did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah.
I remember I was telling Ryan this when we talked about it. I would watch that trailer for that movie every day, like twice.
The final internet trailer, though, that's the best one.
With when they showed off the car crash, I was like, man, they're really going places in this movie. And then I thought it was phenomenal. Story's great, characters are great. Just the action is just top notch. I can't wait to see what he does with Havoc. I follow all the Havoc stuff on Instagram. They turned an entire street in Wales into a snow-ridden U.S. street.
Nice.
So, and they're like all the people that work on the film. I follow them, and they're always posting pictures of just like the set afterwards, and it's just covered in blood and bullet shells, and it's just I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do think the other one as well. Is it Eggers? I remember seeing The Witch in theaters, not knowing what it was, just kind of on the whim going and loving it. The Lighthouse, didn't see it in theaters, but I loved it. Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yep.
That's another, yeah. But I haven't seen anything of his in theaters though.
There's new guys in China. There's a guy called Be Gone who released a few movies, including Tang Wei's one of Tang Wei's recent films, like Long Day's Journey into Night. Very art house, but good quality stuff. But yeah, Jia is he's been around for a while and he's still young, so he's got some years ahead of him.
How old is he?
I think he's like early 50s maybe or something like that. He's still young.
I have the Arrow set, and I really, really like that stuff. I think is there a movie called Sin?
A Touch of Sin.
Touch of Sin. That's a great film.
Yeah, he's got good stuff. I like him. Oh, The World is really neat too. I like that one.
Who else?
Not to go backwards over what we were just talking about, but the best thing about S. Craig Zoller to me, like, it's difficult to put him in that arena for me because he's only done 3 films, and I think 2 of them are incredible for me, and one of them was okay. It was good, but it wasn't like incredible to that point. Like? But it's got to be Brawl to me.
Oh, yeah. You didn't like Brawl?
No, I liked it. I liked it great. I think it was just a notch below the other 2.
So you like Dragged more than Brawl?
I think Dragged was more fleshed out characters.
Huh? Because for me, it's the opposite. I didn't like Dragged as much. I still love it, but I thought Brawl was phenomenal.
But what I was going to say is he's done those 3, and his other main thing is he wrote Puppet Master Littlest Reich.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
He has a script, and you can go to his website. He puts his scripts on his website. You can just download them and read them. He has a script for a Western, and Park Chan-wook was set to direct. And I don't know if there's no news. Amazon bought the rights to it. They were going to get Matthew McConaughey to star. But it was about a group of bandits who do a raid on a town in the cover of a storm. And it was like like when I read it, it was hyper violent, very just.
It's S. Craig Zoller. You don't have to say hyper violent.
He's just he's like a Renaissance man. He's in metal bands. He plays guitar and shit. And he writes. He's a phenomenal author too. His books are great. I
also really like the way you go ahead, Eric.
Oh no, you could finish your thought.
Just the way you said it earlier, I think is really nice to point out for him is that it's not this realistic touch. It's almost like a supernatural aspect to the end, especially the third act of all of his movies.
Yeah, the third, he has a feel to his movies. It's always
right.
Opening, middle, and then the end is always what the fuck.
Yeah, in terms of like Asian directors, there's a few out of Korea. I think Na Hong Jin, who did The Chaser, Yellow Sea, and The Wailing. If he could continue that streak, obviously Park Chan Wook, and even his last film was solid, The Handmaiden, right?
That movie's phenomenal.
And he's doing another one soon, I think with Tang Wei in it, if I remembering correctly.
I think Park Chan Wook, I think, is we're gonna look back. Well, I mean, it's already been almost 20 years since the Vengeance trilogy, really.
Yeah,
which is
crazy. And not to change from him, but nobody's mentioned Bong Joon-ho yet. I mean, I was
about to say that. I mean, I remember when Snowpiercer hit Netflix, and everyone I knew was like, "What is this movie? What is this movie?"
I was worried going into Parasite because I thought Okja, he was starting to lose it a little bit.
Yeah,
that was my least favorite of all of his films. I'm like, this guy's, is he too concerned with messages now? Is he going to start losing? But he got it back on track, obviously, with Parasite. So I'm happy about that.
Have you guys seen the fan theory that Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka?
No. Oh, I've heard of it, but I never bothered to watch the video.
It's pretty spot on. Like, for real, it's crazy. Like, how much there's a few reaches, but for the most part, the Old Henry trailer. Did you text it to me, bud? Let me see.
I love this comment too. After the Raid 2, I haven't looked at baseball bats or hammers the same as before.
Yep.
That movie's just so fucking good, dude. It's just so good. It's literally a masterpiece.
Yeah, Lee Chang-dong's been some really good stuff.
Yes, this movie looks great. Who else? Who's another director that I am obsessed with, and I have.
Well, Japan, Hirokazu Koreeda has been on a pretty hot streak for a while.
Yeah,
Shoplifters recently and some other stuff.
I would say the last few years of Miike. 13 Assassins, Harakiri, Blade the Immortal, First Love.
I like his 2010 stuff. Maybe a little soft with the manga adaptations in the mid-2000s, but outside of that, Lesson of the Evil was great.
Yeah, Lesson of the Evil, yeah, that's another good one. But Miike puts out so much stuff, but I feel like very rarely with a director we see his later works, especially for a guy who's done 100 movies.
Yeah.
I feel like his best movies are 13 Assassins, I think Lessons of Evil is great.
Yeah. I like As the Gods Will a lot. The movie's crazy, but I love it.
Even his Yokai War movie was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Eric, I've been trying to get Flip to see Shoplifters with his wife.
Yeah, that's a good flick.
I just like Koreeda. I just haven't seen it with her yet.
If you want a pleasant one with your wife, Our Little Sister, fantastic like family film.
Okay.
It's really good. If you guys want to watch a Koreeda film with your wives.
Trying to think of who else. There's not that many. This is a hot take. The director of the second Sicario movie. Okay. He's an Italian director. He's directed most of the Gomorrah television show. And he did most of 000. So I feel like his television work, I'll follow him. I feel like Gomorrah, for real, guys, I've talked about the show before. Gomorrah is better than The Sopranos in every sense. It's a tighter show. I feel like in 20 years, we're going to look back on Gomorrah and go, fuck, that was a real treat, real moment in time. And it's just now getting any traction because it's finally on HBO Max. It's my favorite mob thing. It's the most realistic depiction of the mob. They're not a bunch of, some of them, not all of them are a bunch of fat slobs eating salami on the side of a street.
Cannolis.
Not to put this guy down or anything. How did he get Sicario? I mean, everything before that is all TV. I mean, Gomorrah must have an astonishing reputation, but
dude, his television work is so good, like so good. Like just watch 000, watch Gomorrah. I mean, 000 is probably the easiest one. It's only I think 9 episodes for a season. There's only one season. But yeah, he's a great director. I think Sicario: A Day of the Soldado is a good film.
Oh, have you guys ever seen Elite Squad?
Elite Squad. I'll look it
High
up.
Priority.
Why do I recognize that name?
They're Brazilian 2 movies. Brazilian gangster flicks. Phenomenal. Highly recommend them.
Add to watch list.
Interesting.
I feel like Ice told me about these. Yeah, they have a 3.9 on Letterboxd.
They're really good.
They're on. Oh, you can watch it on. It's on Amazon Video.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. There's 2 of them. Yeah, both of them have 3.9s.
Should be higher.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Jose Padilla is the director. He directed the 2014 RoboCop movie.
I was gonna tell you not to look. That, you know how it is. That one may not have been his fault.
That's true. Bus 174. What's this? This also has very high ratings as well. Documentary depicts what happened in Rio de Janeiro on June 12, 2000, when the bus 174 was taken by a armed young man threatening to shoot all the passengers. Transmitted live on Brazilian TV networks. This shocking and tragic ending event became one of the most violent, most shocking portraits and one of the most scariest examples of police incompetence and abuse in recent years. Ooh. Damn, I think I just found a director I'm going to dive headfirst into, besides RoboCop.
Yeah.
But I even saw RoboCop in theaters, and honestly, I didn't hate it.
It was,
It was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, like awful or anything.
Oh, who's the director of The Lobster?
I forgot.
He's got a really odd name.
I think his movies are good.
It's the same guy that did The Favorite, I believe, right?
I think so. I really like him.
It is Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yorgos Lanthimos. Oh, Pamos Comatos?
I just was going to say that because it's similar. I mean, I really like his stuff so far. I hope he continues with this. I hope he doesn't do normal films. He's got to continue with the crazy, weird stuff, man.
I hope he doesn't do normal stuff either. I said Yorga Latinos or whatever. That's good. Yorga Latinos. Yeah, I mean, I think those are all good answers. I think the obvious is probably gonna be like the big one, Nolan. Obviously, I think people are gonna look back and be like, "Wow."
To give him main. Well, I was about to go one that's very similar to Zack Snyder because I don't think Zack Snyder's a bad director. I think that he's got some other stuff that screws with him. Yes. The mainstream one that I'm going to throw out there, which I like a lot of his smaller movies, Rian Johnson is probably one that we're going to look back at the same sort of way.
I hate Rian Johnson.
Not even like Brick?
All my homies hate Rian Johnson. I don't like him at all.
Not Knives Out? Not Looper?
Yes, Looper, absolutely not.
It is a fun plot.
Not. Absolutely not. I hate that movie. Knives Out, yes. It's a great movie. But that's it. That's the only movie I've seen from him that I like.
You should see Brick. Brick is legitimately an incredible film. And it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like in his prime before Nolan got to him. And yeah.
I don't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt that much. He's all right. It's like a mixed bag for me.
I think Brick came out in a time when it won't be a mixed bag. It's a very... Yeah.
I think my biggest problem with Looper is that I could not see Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt being the same dude at all.
Neither could Society. That's why they CGI'd, and it did not work.
Wait, then maybe that's my problem. Is it looked terrible? I was like,
it was really poor de-aging, and yeah.
Who do you think's a director right now that's hot that no one's going to give a fuck about in the future? I think it's Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I was going to attach to that.
Besides Dawn of the Dead, which I think is his only truly great, amazing film.
You know who's another one that I'll throw out there? I don't think that he's hot right now necessarily, but David Ayer. I think that he had a couple incredible films, Fury and End of Watch.
Yes, David Ayer. I just watched something of his. Did I talk about this?
No.
Sabotage. He did the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right?
I like that movie.
What? Eric?
And
It's
that
totally
came out,
not my kind of film because everyone's so obnoxious, but there's something about it the violence or something. I don't know what it is.
I could not get into that movie. The violence is cool.
Totally understand.
Everyone is so trashy in that movie. But Arnold has the best comeback I've ever heard in my entire life is when he's getting interrogated by a police officer and the guy's really fat. He's like, who are you to question me with your 40% body fat? And I was like, damn. I was like, fuck, that's the best comeback I've ever heard in my life.
that came out the same year as Fury did somehow. He directed both of those and they released in the same year.
Maybe Sabotage sat on the shelf.
Fury is amazing. The tank fight obviously is not realistic in any way, but that movie is incredible.
And to watch is great, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm back to blue, baby. I love those cops. Jake Gyllenhaal. That's an actor who has taken some great career choices. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is he's like,
he's up there with Pattinson for me.
Southpaw is great. End of Watch, Nightcrawler is
the one I was about to throw out there.
Yeah, that's his best performance, I think, in Nightcrawler.
Prisoners was really good.
Dude, Prisoners, that came out, I think I saw it right after my cousin had just died. And Hugh Jackman's performance of a dad losing thinking he lost his kid was perfect casting. Like, and then all the stuff that Jake Gyllenhaal does with that character, like the eye twitches, like he came out with that himself. I love that film. And that's Denis Villeneuve, or whatever you pronounce that French fucker.
That was almost a Yorgo Latino for
you. Nice Villeneuve. Love that guy.
Yeah, for me, those are easily the top two actors, and then I got to throw Toni Collette as my trifecta at the moment.
Yeah, Toni Collette's good. Good. I heard she's a real bitch on set.
I've heard the opposite. I've heard she's incredible to work with. Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and someone was like, I worked with her and she was a total B word. To go back to movies, I think honestly, if they can knock the fourth one out, I think the John Wick movies will look back and be like, that's our generation's. What's a good action like Lethal Weapon?
Yeah. I'm a little worried about the fourth one. Do the script writers and then the way the third one ended? I'm a little.
The script writers are terrible.
Again, like the script isn't that important in an action movie like this, but you got to at least. I don't know.
That's true, but
the script was pretty good in the first three movies. That's the thing.
Well, so the first two, I agree, they're great. The third one, Lionsgate, made someone come and work with Derek Holstein. They made those two. Come work with them. But it could be good. I mean, the guy who wrote Chernobyl wrote Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, and he wrote some bad stuff. But I mean, I really hope it's almost too good to be true. It's real, like that cast is just too good to be that movie to be good.
Just keep the action physics at least somewhat grounded, man. I don't want Crank in my John Wick 4. It's just not. It doesn't belong in this franchise. Don't go Fast and Furious. Keep it at least somewhat grounded, with the physics.
And the thing I hated about 3 the most is that you have the two guys from the raid, and you I think Yan Yan, and then I don't know who the other one is. The double-bladed guy. Yeah. And you don't. I'm hating a big final fight for Keanu because it's obvious he's slow. Yeah, I mean the third one's a perfect example of that. Exactly. They actually had to slow down the fights to make Keanu be able to keep up with them. So I'm hoping, because from the plot that we got, he teams up with Donnie Yen. So maybe you have Donnie Yen handle some of the more faster paced opponents. And please let them highlight each of their respected martial arts. Because I think Donnie Yen's great. I think Sonata's great. Scott Adkins is great. And you have those 4 are just with Keanu. It's almost too good to be true.
Dude, Donnie, come to me, baby. I'm ready for Raging Fire.
Is that good?
Oh my gosh.
I want that to be good.
It's in a few weeks. It's released digitally, and that's like my highest anticipated film of the entire year.
Yeah, there's a couple of the reviews I read on Letterboxd from people I trust are really high, and then one guy wrote this. He gave it 2 stars, and he wrote, "Why does the best action scene of the year have to be in such a dog ass movie?"
Well, Benny Chan's films you get pretty dumb at times, but that don't matter.
And then someone else wrote, "Raging Fire is everything I expected to be and more. It's Benny Chan's final film and perhaps his finest hour as well. Raging Fire features the most exciting action sequence I have seen all year. Of course, the plot follows the heroic bloodshed / righteous cop genre you are used to seeing in Hong Kong action." So, I mean, that sounds good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Benny Chan, what did he die of? He was young, right?
Cancer, probably, I think.
Yeah, that sucks.
I think so.
That fucking blows.
Yeah, he made some good stuff, some really stupid stuff that's fun to watch, too. I mean, his movies range between pretty good to just incomprehensibly stupid, but most of them are pretty entertaining.
I really want Raging Fire to be good. I might actually sign up for Hiya.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
That. Yeah. Just to watch it. And then, of course, I'll buy the Blu-ray in December.
Yeah, me too.
God, I'm so excited for that movie. Ryan, are you excited for that movie?
Nope.
What? Ryan.
Not on my radar.
I'm shocked that you are not excited for a Hong Kong action movie. Shocked.
He would like a lot of Johnny Toe stuff you would like, though. I know you've seen a few of them, right?
Have you seen Throwdown?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, because Johnny Toe is more of like an artistic flair to his stuff.
Right.
Yeah, Exile, man.
Yeah.
That needs a Blu-ray.
Oh, The Mission, desperately, because the DVD copy of The Mission sucked. That needs a Blu-ray bad.
We need a Johnny Toe box set. Eureka. Do the rest of them in a box set.
Oh, well, he's made a lot of movies, but they could definitely get like a solid like 10 of his movies and put them together.
God, he's up there with one of my favorite directors.
He's better than a lot of Hong Kong directors, I think.
I think he's better than I think he's better than Wong Kar-wai.
I would agree, actually. Yeah,
he's like the Wong Kar-wai, but for action movies.
Right.
Like very art. Like a lot of them are art housey, but you're just like there's so much carnage happening.
Yeah.
And then and he's still making good movies. That's like a 2010 movie, right? Mad
Detective. It was like 2007, maybe, but it was Drug War. I loved that was 2012.
Yeah, that's fucking recent. He's great. Johnny Toe's the GOAT. He's the Tom Brady of Hong Kong.
I think so.
You guys mentioned you don't need a great script in action. I think one of the things that some of these that they lose pace on is that you don't need a great script, but you really do need a great beginning and ending. And how we get to the ending doesn't usually matter, but they usually have like a decent setup, and then they meander to a mediocre ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
pacing's important for me for action films too. A lot of them are too long. They're too long.
Oh yeah, I think most movies are too long nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Taylor rewatched the first John Wick recently, and I forgot like how many character moments are in that movie, like real sentimental character-driven moments.
Yeah.
And she was like, "This is my favorite one just because you get a little bit more inside look at John as a person." And that first one's perfect example of simple plot, great middle, fantastic end.
And I think that the important thing for that is that it shows that a great movie can bring in studio influence and start driving it into the fucking ground. And not that we didn't need sequels, but that we don't need to rush them out, and we can wait for a better script. I mean, a lot of people didn't like 3, and everybody's worried about 4. I mean, just let the original crew do their thing. Give them some money. I mean, they're going to make you money, and do it right.
I do think they fucked up by firing Derek Kolstad, because from what I read, he didn't want, like, he just wasn't called back. They were just like, see ya. But he went on and did Nobody. I like that.
Oh.
What a weird career that guy's had, because he's been writing like B-level action movies for his entire career, and then just struck gold with John Wick. Just like hit it.
That's the thing. It only takes one.
I mean, but since then, like even Nobody, simple story,
exploded.
So maybe his other movies are good. I just need to go back and watch some of them. Have you seen any of his older stuff? Brian?
I'd have to look up because I don't know everything that he's written.
Mm-hmm.
He's written. Pulling it up here. Derek. There's a lot of producers. Eva Longoria of Desperate Housewives fame produced the first John Wick. Derek Kolstad, he has written One in the Chamber from 2012, starring Dolph Lundgren and Cuba Gooding Jr. He wrote The Package with Steve Austin, Dolph Lundgren. And then he's got a bunch of scripts that are signed, but he's writing the live action Hellsing movie.
Oh.
And he's writing for a Hitman TV series.
Wait, Hellsing, the anime character?
Yeah, so the studio, the production company that makes the John Wick and Nobody movies and Atomic Blonde, they're doing Hellsing.
If it's anything close to Hellsing Ultimate, I'm going to be in heaven.
Me too. And then he's writing a remake of The Man from Nowhere. With Chad Stahelski producing.
I don't know. Do we really need that? Just make a different movie. Because The Man from Nowhere is basically just a professional anyway.
Damn, he's also remaking the 2018 Korean sci-fi short film Time Agent.
I didn't see that.
He's remaking that. Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies written that are not produced yet.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, 2 bad movies and then John Wick. Apparently he was a producer on The Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that's cool.
Well, guys, it's been just over 2 hours. How are you feeling about wrapping it up?
Honestly, I think you always should because you don't want any unwanted children.
That's why you do what I did. You just snip it.
Did you get snipped?
Oh, immediately after we had our second kid. I said, fuck that. This is way too much.
Eric, are you snipped? Because you just agreed, you were like, yeah, me.
I should, but I don't even have kids. But I don't want any.
You don't want any kids at all?
No.
That's a smart move. So what are we watching next week? Eric, you're more than welcome to come on again, make it a full month in a row. 4 weeks.
I think next Tuesday I might actually have something going on, but I'll double check.
You're always more than welcome to come on. You're a blast. I definitely want to have you on a Monday. Me and you, we could talk about
actually just talk about Asian cinema.
Yeah, just talk about Asian cinema and not have some horror nerd,
Wow.
The guy who likes The Thing. John Carpenter? Who's that? Is that Jesus' dad?
Yes.
Because Jesus was a carpenter?
I'm
not
going to laugh at that one, bro.
That's why his initials are JC.
Oh,
see?
That was a little funny.
Boom.
Yeah.
I laid that up with you, and you went boom, slam dunk. We're the Jordan and Pittman.
Yeah.
You were the Muggsy Bogues.
You shut the fuck up.
Wow. That's digging deep for a basketball reference there, my friend. Couldn't even give him a Mark Price or something?
You couldn't even get a Spud Webb out of my pocket.
Oh my God, Ryan.
I love that everybody on the stream understood that, at least. You can tell we all watched basketball in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah. That's a pretty deep cut. Randomly. At least you're still in Space Jam. What'd you guys think?
That's a good call, Ice.
Movie of the year.
I never even watched it.
Good. I paid for my whole family to see it in theaters.
How much did that cost?
45-ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
For Space Jam 2? I'd pay you $4 to not have me watch it.
It was the best behaved my kids have been in a movie theater yet. And my 6-year-old loved it, so I know what their demographic was.
That's good.
Not us.
No, and God, what year did that first one come out? 98? 99?
Something like that.
Was it earlier than that?
Let me see. I'm going to look it up.
I thought it had to be a little later because it was after the baseball years. Oh, it was 96. Okay.
96. I was close. Joe.
So I was 9 when that came out.
Joe Pertka directed 3 movies: Let It Ride, 1989, The King of Ads, and Space Jam. And did nothing since. No producing credits, nothing. According to Letterboxd, I've watched 0% of his directorial stuff, and I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not going to log. I think Space Jam is a bad movie. The first one is a bad movie. I think we just look back on it with rose, like with rose-tinted glasses.
It was not meant to be a great movie, though. It is the same thing as like Last Action Hero. It's meant to be an IP movie, basically.
It also made me sexually attracted to a fucking rabbit lady.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, I mean to him too. Yeah, fuck yeah. Lola Bunny, dude. Fucking when I was like, how old was I in 96? Taylor wasn't even born in 96. My wife wasn't even born yet. I was 5 in 96. So, how old were you guys?
96.
In 96,
I was 16, 17.
I was 9.
Holy shit, Eric, you're old.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Let's go and wrap it up. Is she post Blade? No, she's not post Blade. Have you heard that joke, Ryan?
No.
So I was having people on my stream for a long time, like every guest, and I had a friend named Prom on, and we were talking about the movie Blade. We did like a 5-hour stream, and we were talking about Blade, and he goes, because he's young, he goes, "Oh, I'm post Blade," and I just thought that was a funny measurement of time. So now when I meet someone and they tell me they're like the year they were born, I'm like, "Oh, you're pre-Blade," and they're like, "What?"
I'm still pissed off. My kid says things like, "Oh, did that happen in the 1900s?" And I just like, what?
That's what I say to my dad. I'm like, yeah, Dad, did that happen in the 50s? And he's like, "I'm only 60, you piece of shit." He looks. My dad's got long hair, and we rip into each other. And on yesterday during the photo shoot, I'm like, you look like Caitlyn Jenner. And because I've been lifting weights, so I've been doing bench press on my chest is real puffy. He goes, "What'd you do? Forget your fucking bra?" We're just like making fun of each other, and the fucking photographer's like, like, are these people serious? It's a pretty good relationship we have. He's my buddy.
Anyways, thanks to everybody that hung out for our inaugural episode of what we are soon to be calling the Discovering Cinema Show. We're going to have the tagline of From Art House to Z Grade, because we do plan on covering a lot more than just Lone Wolf and Cub and horror movies, I promise.
Also known as the Tumbling Talk of Flesh.
The Tumbling Talk of Flesh. That's good.
Oh, that is a nice episode name at some point. What are we doing
next week?
Let's discuss that one off air.
Okay, because I have an idea.
Okay, ideas are good.
Not mine.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you all next week, next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central. We are going to be live again every week from here on out. Have a good one, and we'll see you then. Later.